Hello students, let's continue the chapter Electric Charges and Field. In the last part we have studied about the Coulomb's law. Now let's solve a numerical problem first based on the Coulomb's law. The question is, the electrostatic force on a small sphere of charge 0.4 microcoulomb due to another charge sphere of minus 0.8 microcoulomb in air is 0.2 Newton, and you have to find the distance between the two spheres and the force on the second due to the first sphere. Pause the video and solve it. According to the question, the force on first sphere is 0.2 Newton and the charges are given in microcoulomb. So first convert micro into 10 raised to power minus 6. Then by using Coulomb's law formula Q1 Q2 upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square, we know that the value of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught in air is 9 into 10 raised to power 9 Newton meter square per coulomb square. So by putting all the values in this formula, you will get the value of r as 0.12 meter. That means the distance between the two spheres will be 0.12 meter. And you know that the two spheres will exert equal and opposite force on each other, and here the charges are opposite, so there will be attractive force, and the force on the second sphere due to the first is 0.2 Newton. Coulomb's law gives force between 2 point charges, and the principle of superposition enables us to find the force on a point charge due to a group of point charges. This principle is based on the property that the forces with which two charges attract or repel each other are not affected by the presence of other charges. As shown in figure, 3 point charges Q1, Q2 and Q3 placed in vacuum at points whose position vectors with respect to origin O are R1 vector, R2 vector and R3 vector. Then according to the principle of superposition, the total force on charge Q1 will be given by the sum of the force on 1 due to 2 and the force on 1 due to 3. Firstly, we will calculate these forces, and then by using parallelogram law of vector addition, we will find out the net force acting on charge 1 due to the other two. In the similar way, by generalizing this formula, you will get the total force equals to the vector sum of individual forces applied by different charges on first charge. Mathematically, it will be equal to Q1 Q2 upon 4 pi epsilon naught R12 square R12 cap plus Q1 Q3 upon R13 square 4 pi epsilon naught R13 cap and so on. In practice, we deal with charges much greater in magnitude than the charge on an electron. So we can ignore the quantum nature of charge and imagine that the charge is spread in a region in a continuous manner. Such a charge distribution is known as continuous charge distribution. During calculation of the force on a charge due to continuous charge distribution, this continuous charge distribution can be imagined to consist of a large number of small charges dq. And according to Coulomb's law, you know that the force on a point charge Q0 due to small charge dq will be given by df is equals to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q0 into dq upon r square, and then by using principle of superposition, the total force on charge Q0 will be the vector sum of the forces exerted by all such small charges, and mathematically is given by integration of df equals to integration of 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught Q0 dq upon r square into r cap. Now we will discuss how we can calculate the total force during different types of continuous charge distributions. In a line charge distribution means it is a charge distribution along a one dimension curve or line L in space as shown in the figure. We define the linear charge density at any point on this line as the charge per unit length of the line at that point. Means lambda is equals to charge upon length, or you can say dq by dl. Hence from this formula you can calculate the value of dq is equals to lambda into dl and put in the above formula of force in place of dq. Similarly, if the charge is distributed over a surface area, then the distribution is called surface charge distribution. Mathematically, surface charge density is denoted by sigma and it will be charge upon area, and in terms of small charge, sigma will be equals to dq upon ds. And from here, the total charge Q will be the integration of sigma ds, and by calculating the charge in this way, then put this charge in the above force formula in place of dq. And the third type is volume charge distribution, and if the charge is distributed over the volume, then the distribution is said to be volume charge distribution. In a similar way, the volume charge density will be the ratio of the charge to the volume, and in the terms of small, it will be dq upon dv as shown in the figure, and then you have to find out the total charge by integrating the rho into dv and put in the formula of force, and hence you will find out the total force. Thank you.